Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Today I'm upstairs at Eleni's kitchen in Yarraville with Eleftheria Amanatidis. The room feels like a taverna, a crisscross of dark beams, low light, and the sense that food is at the centre of everything. Eleftheria has captured not just the dishes of her Yiayias and Papous, but the atmosphere too, the smells, the rituals, the family gathered round a table. Hospitality runs in Eleftheria's blood. Her family opened Yarraville's first Greek restaurant opposite the Sun Theatre in the 70s, back when Greek films screened on weekends and the jukebox played until late. That history of feeding Melbourne's Greek community is part of what she carries forward now. Her recently launched book, Fáme, Come and Eat, is both a collection of recipes and a love letter to that heritage. Filo rolled thin with patience, pork and cabbage stew simmering on a winter's day, and the call that anchored her childhood, come and eat. While we were talking, her Yiayia Eleni wandered upstairs to look at old photos. A reminder that in Greek kitchens, the past is always at the table. Hi Eleftheria, lovely to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're sitting upstairs in Eleni's kitchen, which is, as we were saying coming up, it's a lot bigger than it seems. Like it's very narrow, but it goes back a long way. And it's I feel like I'm in one of those. I do feel like I'm in a taverna kind of situation with what you've done with the ceiling. It's really beautiful, and the wooden tables, and you've really created a great atmosphere.
Thank you. Yeah. So we are, like you said, very narrow but long. And upstairs in this area we're sitting in is more. We generally use it on the weekends for like casual dining, but we do have a lot of private functions because we seat up to 80 people up here. So It's quite a large space.
It is. It's huge. And I was really fascinated because you really kindly sent your cookbook to me. And can we just start with growing up in a Greek household? What was that like? And do you have particular food memories?
What it was like, very busy, very loud all the time. Always like with family, with my Yiayias, my Papous, but very like involved, if I can say that. So if my Yiayia was always doing something in the kitchen, me and my sister were always with her. So I guess that's where all my inspiration, everything comes from, even with the restaurant and the deli. Because she involved us so much in all that, we grew up and we learnt about our food and our culture. So something really special to us. And yes, I do have a lot of memories surrounded by food. In particular, one would definitely be my pork and cabbage stew. So was one of my Papous' favourites, who I've named the deli after. And it just always, the smell of it always reminds me of like a really cold winter's day coming home from school. My papa would pick us up, we'd head back to Yiayia's, and she'd be, say, like always cooking from the morning in the kitchen, and smelling the stew and the pork and just the cabbage. It always takes me back to, after school days with them. So it's still so vivid. Like, it's unbelievable smell. Like how much that connection is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I really get the sense through the book and the little blurbs you have about each dish and the introduction and so on, that food was very much at the heart of the love and the way your family connected.
It's very exactly like how we connected, whether it was over just like café, like Greek coffee with biscuits like the koulourakia that are in my recipe book, or like a full-on feast for Easter or Christmas or a name day, but there was always food involved, and it's so much more than just slapping some ingredients together and then serving it up on a plate. It's more like that journey from start to finish, because we were always involved with it, but always sitting around the table with family, and food is so special.
There's a really lovely part in the book where you talk about packing up your little suitcase and going to stay with Yiayia for 2 weeks, and that there was a real routine to the day of getting up, and so I always had these ideas of Yiayas, just as you say, starting in the morning and preparing. Like, what would a day look like?
So always, like for us, and we would always sleep at my Yiayia Eleftheria, so who I'm named after, my mum's mum, and basically me and my sister would pack up and we'd stay there for the 2 weeks on school holidays. We'd get up, my Yiayia would always make us wheat bix, and we were allowed to have that in the bed with our robes, which was the best thing ever. It was like, felt so like deluxe. And then we'd get up, but she'd already have started cooking for my papu, so before he would go out for the day, which would like typically be like, you know, here's coffee or tea with some toast and feta and olives, like a full spread. And then if she hadn't already been shopping, we'd go grocery shopping with her to get things ready for the day, come back, and then we'd start helping her like cut everything up, like onions or, you know, parsley, whatever it was, and that would be, say, for the main dish. So say if we were having like fasulakia mekrea, so string beans with meat, we'd help her get all that ready and she'd cook it off, and then we'd do, because that was the main, she'd always say make like pita as a side dish, which is like a meal in itself, really, when you think about it now, or when I think about it now. But that was sort of just like a side dish for us. So we'd help her like with the flour and all that, make the dough, stretch it out over the table, get that ready, do the filling with her. And then once that went in the oven, we'd always time it perfectly, because my Yiayia would love to watch Bold and the Beautiful. So we'd have to sit down to watch Bold and the Beautiful. And then that would be like our break. By the time that's done, everything's sort of ready, finished cooking. Come dinner time, we'd help set the table up, call my papu from outside, and then by the time we'd be ready, like my mum and dad would have finished work and everyone would come over and eat.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and then we'd help her clean up, which wasn't really my sister's thing, but I'd help my Yiayia wash dishes, and then it would be watching The Simpsons on Channel 10 when we finished.
Oh, such vivid memories,
yeah,
so great.
So good.
And did she use certain pots or utensils that might be a bit different than...
Yeah, like the... which they still have them, like the really heavy bessemer dishes, always like, you know, wooden spoons, or her rolling pin, which she still has, that's like so long and like it's not so wide, but I haven't been able to get that anywhere. So if I ever need that, like I'll make sure I get it from my Yiayas, because I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's like been passed down generations in her family.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the cutlery, like in your glassware and her kitchen table, like it's, you don't come across things like that anymore, like retro, you know, if you could call it that. But yeah, it's...
And what part of Greece were they from?
Northern Greece, so on both sides. My young people they're from Kastoria, Kozani and Kilkis. We are from Northern Greece, but our family migrated originally from Pontos, which is the population exchange when the Pontian genocide happened, so with the Ottoman Empire. They then left there and then came to Northern Greece.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
and what's the food specialties from that area?
Pontian people and like people that are in Northern Greece, they're very well known for their pites. So like your spanakopita, tiropita, which is just the cheese filling. Spanakopita is obviously with spinach, and even pumpkin pita. But we do it a little bit differently. So like mainland or even people from the islands, they'll make a kolokitho pita, which is pumpkin pita but a sweet version with cinnamon, whereas we do it savoury and it's not sweet,
Okay.
Which I didn't even know myself. It's only when we really opened the restaurant, because our head chef's from Lefkada, which is an island. I'd made pumpkin pita and he said, oh, did you put cinnamon? And I said, what would I do that for? And he said, don't you have it sweet? And I said, no, I've never heard of it. So it's, very different, but we're very well known for the pites. Yeah.
Great.
Like opening the filo and all that's in the book as well.
Yeah.
Something that not a lot of younger people, like our younger generation, has sort of taken on, because they all have the ready-made filo. And I'm happy to say I'm the only person in my family that's learned that from my Yiayia, so no one else knows how to open filo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that feel like it seems like a pun. It must be really difficult to make.
Yeah, it's more a little bit time consuming, but like for me, there's nothing better than homemade filo. Like the texture, the smell, everything.
I bet it doesn't even compare to shop bought.
Nah, not a chance.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful, flaky, buttery. Yeah.
And the book is called Come and Eat, but it's a Greek name. Can you say the Greek name?
Fáme.
And what does that mean for you, that phrase?
So I chose that title because Fáme is, I'd hear it all the time, whether we were, in bed or outside playing. My Yiayias and my Papous as well, they'd always call Fáme, so like come and eat. Food was ready, and we'd drop everything to go eat because food's food. It's the best. And when they said Fáme, like you had to be at that table ready to eat.
I think it's interesting. It's interesting for me, coming perhaps from an Anglo-Saxon, an English kind of British background. I feel like obviously everyone loves to eat, but there's just not that cultural pull that food has in Greek culture. Or on Sunday I did a food tour of the Springvale markets with a Vietnamese food presenter, and just the passion for good quality ingredients, fresh, and going to the market and getting all those things. I feel like that's a little bit lacking in my background. It is amazing that just that sense of, as you say, love, passion and provenance, so really it's important about where the recipes come from, but I guess where the produce comes from as well. How do you go about sourcing that produce here?
So we make sure, like with the restaurant, even the deli, we're very particular who supplies us, and especially like with fruit and veg, we make sure it's always, even the fish, everything, the meat is always delivered fresh every day. We have, we've been here at Eleni's probably going on almost 8 years. This is our 8th year. So whoever's sort of supplied us from day one, we still have really special relationships with them, and they're our same suppliers. So we're very particular about who we deal with, and for that reason, because we know it's fresh and good quality. And that's what we want to provide to our customers. That's what they're paying for in our service. So we wouldn't have it any other way. And that's something I think as well, growing up, like with my Papous, it was just sort of seemed different to me, where you'd go to the supermarkets and you'd see people buying all their fruit and veg, but I didn't really know that, because with my young Papous, he would have like the garden, the backyard was just full of like anything and everything you can imagine. So, and that's what we grew up eating. So
did he have beehives as well?
Beehives, no. My mum's cousins did. Which I thought, I was like, nah, that's too much for me. I would freak out with bees. But my Papous had everything from like the fruit and veg, even like chickens, rabbits, like everything.
Rabbits?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was unbelievable, like seeing that growing up. It was it was huge. Yeah. And he's still, even to today, he's 89 and like obviously slowed down a little bit, but still maintains, like tries to do it as much as he can, and always gives us rings us and says, I got cucumbers and tomatoes or different types of lettuce. Like it's unbelievable. Like it's sort of not unheard of, but not many people will manage that now, with how busy everyone is. It's just easier to go to the grocery store.
Well, that's right. But then it probably speaks to longevity of, people living healthy lives into their 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same as, back in Greece as well, is that, when you're looking after veggie gardens and fruit trees and so on, you're having to think about them and be out there and, you're getting exercise and fresh air and eating food that's been,
so true.
like it's fresh from the garden.
Physically and mentally, because you think at how, like, for my grandfather, who I named the deli after, my Papous that's passed away since, even him, like up until he had Parkinson's and he really couldn't manage much, he made sure he was outside, even just watering them or whatever he could. But it helped a lot, not just physically, like being able to get out, but mentally I think it really does help them as well, because it's that purpose, you know, they have something to do, they're nurturing something, you know, like we were sort of, you know, when we were little, that was their purpose, helping to raise us and stuff, and I feel the same for their gardens, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you have 3 venues. You've got the restaurant, the deli, and a
Cakes
cake
by
shop?
Terry. I don't. I have my cakes in the shop front of Jimmy's Deli.
Okay.
But it is like my 3rd business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your family's had businesses in Yarraville since 1971?
Yes, correct. Yes. So my Yiayias and Papous, they owned the, like, say, original Eleni's in 71, which is now the Yarra Lounge. So it's just down the street opposite the Sun Theatre, the cinema. So that was sort of like when all the Greeks sort of came here from Greece, it was like their little hub, their little hangout. You know, my Yiayias with her sister-in-law, they'd cook, and my papa would be there as well with his brother. And then my uncles had a couple pizza shops here, which one was featured in the first Wogboy film. So it's, we're got a bit of a name for hospitality and, you know, venues in Yarraville.
Yeah. So did you always know that that's what you wanted to do? That you wanted to keep it going?
No. I always had the passion to, because I love food so much, and it was something that I always, even with the cookbook, I always wanted to be able to showcase that to people, but not to this extent. I didn't think I'd ever do, you know, a restaurant as big as what we've done, and the deli, and now my cakes. I had initially started in hair and makeup, so something totally different, but still with that sort of, you know, one-on-one, like, client-customer interaction. And I was doing a bit of hair and makeup for short film sets. And then when this place came up for lease in Yarraville, it was like 2017, we sort of thought, well, we'll just, you know, go for it. So we sort of jumped in not knowing what we were doing. But I have to say I'm happy that we did. Like, it's been a big, you know, you have your challenges and, you know, all that, and it's been a fun journey. And yeah, it's been really good.
Is this someone for you?
That's my Yiayias. Oh. That's my grandmother.
So great.
That's Eleni. Kano sinendevski Yiayias.
Hello.
Kano sinendevski. Me milai kala. No. Oh, good. She comes up to look at the photos.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Gosh, the photos are beautiful.
Yeah. Memories.
Yeah. No.
Special. Yeah.
Oh, okay, your mother. Yeah.
All the dinner dances and none of these things happen anymore, unfortunately.
No, I know, that's right. And and the photo of the
man walking. That's my papou.
Yes, your papou. Oh, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
In 1971.
Yeah, I know.
I was born in 1971, so it's a long time ago. Yeah. It's great to have those there. It just really speaks to how important family is.
It's so special. Yeah, because I mean, and you don't want to think about it, but like when my papou passed on, that's really like your photos or your memories. That's what you've got left, you know.
That's right.
So it's really special.
So just going back to how you transitioned from hair and makeup.
Into hospitality.
Yeah, into hospitality. So you...
So I basically, I was at the time also working at a salon in West Footscray. And I was lucky enough, my boss at the time, Andy, who was amazing, she said, look, Terry, do whatever days you want, like it's fine, we'll be, you know, flexible, because I was still also, before this opened, I was helping with the construction of it, so I got very hands-on with it, painted these beams as well. And I thought, okay, well, I'll get involved in it and I'll work a few days in the restaurant when we do open, and then we'll find staff, and we got so busy, we never found staff, and cut a long story short, it's 8 years later and I never went back to hair and makeup. So I've been here full time, which I'm happy about. I do miss hair and makeup a little bit, but it's still a passion of mine that one day I hope to open a salon of my own.
Wow. You could just like own all of Anderson Street, couldn't you? Just take it over.
But it's very interesting transition and change of career, and but I wouldn't change it for anything.
So it was important for you though to learn technique from the chef, Christos?
Christos, yeah. So I had, and I spoke about this briefly on the night of my book launch. Obviously, you know, I was able to do the book because being raised by my Yiayias and Papous, they were always involved in cooking. Even my Papu Mitro that's passed away, he actually taught my Yiayia Eleni how to cook. Like, she was a seamstress in Greece. And my Papu loved cooking and loved food, and I think that's obviously where that comes from for us. But as much as obviously what my grandparents taught me, it's on a very different scale, obviously, in a hospitality venue. So I was lucky enough, Christo started working for us, and then it wasn't until like COVID lockdown, because obviously we kept everyone on and everyone was doing deliveries for us. But I worked really closely with Christo in the kitchen, and it was amazing. Like, can't thank him enough for it, and I've learned so much working with him, and even till today, like, there's so much still, you know, you can learn.
But butchery, you've done that as well, have you?
No, so butchery is my papa's sort of expertise. Okay, yes. I would have loved to have learned, and my papa did have a butcher shop, but that was unfortunately way before my time. But yeah, very involved, very hands-on. Like, I know how to cook the gyro and cut it fresh from the spit and everything, and I learned all that from Christos. So and I'd probably safe to say I'm like one of the only Greek women in Greek kitchens that knows how to cook on the charcoal and the spit.
That's right.
Because it is a whole like sort of technique in itself. Very, I would say like a dying, you know, technique. Really, there's not many Greek chefs left, like from Christos' age, I'll say. But yeah, he's been amazing.
And I feel like, you know, often when food writers will write about Melbourne as the most Greek city outside of Greece.
Correct. Yeah.
And there's definite waves of you know, Greek restaurants opening periodically, like probably once a year. Broadsheet or the Good Food Guide or The Age, or whoever will do the top 5 Greek restaurants. Do you think is Greek food evolving, or is it better that it stays traditional? What are your thoughts on Greek?
No, I'm all for, like, I definitely think it is evolving, like, especially like you said, there's so many new restaurants or little, like, you know, hubs or cafes, whatever you'd like to call them, that are opening up, and like that's been the last few months as well. And don't get me wrong, like, we're here and we provide, you know, like our traditional Greek cuisine and things like that. There's a lot of other places that is more like, I'd say, a fusion, like it is very different, something we're not used to. But I'm all for it. Like, you know, if that's what, you know, people like, and, you know, it keeps people coming back, then why not? And I think it definitely, all these new places opening up as well, they're putting Greek cuisine back on the map for us here in Melbourne. I feel like there was a bit of a decline. And I think it's been great. You know, there's so many write-ups now for different places, and we've been in a few of those as well, which is good to be recognised as one of Melbourne's like top you know, tavernas, which is great. But yeah, I think that's sort of where it's headed anyway. It won't just, I don't think it'll ever just be traditional Greek cuisine, you know. There's always going to be some chef that's going to put their own spin on it, you know, and that's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you say, you do have a lot of traditional recipes and in your book and on the menu. So things like moussaka, baklava, spanakopita, and things like that. Are there lesser known dishes or ingredients that you wish people knew about?
Geez, that's a good one. I would say, I'm not going to say like ingredient, but Greek kitchen as a whole, I think it's so important, and I feel like it's more known now than before. Greek cuisine is so much more than just meats. And I feel like, you know, everyone thinks Greek, they're like, yes, with like, you know, like skewers and, you know, gyro and things like that. And where there's so many like vegetarian dishes, and we get a lot of customers come here and they're like, oh, surely I don't think you'd cater to gluten free, but like majority of our menu is gluten free, so I would say that a lot of some people aren't so aware that you've got your yummy star, like your stuffed peppers, stuffed zucchinis, your eggplant halves that are filled with vegetables and things like that. So I would say that. Yeah.
And is there a piece of advice or wisdom that you have gained from your Yiayias or Papous that you would that you hold close to your heart?
There's a lot, but I would say one thing I think about all the time, and this is mainly because we've had to face a few challenges in the last couple of years here, that doesn't matter what happens and how bad it is, everything will always come good. So what me and my sister were raised is that doesn't matter how bad anything is, you just keep going and you keep your head up, and everything will work out. And that's something that they always said to us from little, doesn't matter what, you keep going and everything will work out, it'll be all right. And my Yiayiah, both of them actually, would always say to us, Theos in megalos, which means, God is big. So everything does happen for a reason, but everything, it will come good. Doesn't matter how bad it is.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.